Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. This is the only show in the metro area that talks about construction, expansion, economic development, really anything related to Omaha becoming more vibrant, more prosperous. Thank you to our sponsors for making this possible. The first one is Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, with its Omaha location near Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion, and Dingman's Collision Center, 4 metro area locations taking care of your car both inside and out. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning, Trenton. And I know speaking on behalf of you, we at Grow Omaha want to give our sympathies to anyone who suffered property damage in yesterday's tornadoes. You and I are both natives of this town. We're not old, but we're not spring chickens either. So we were both alive for the 1975 tornado.
We were 6.
And I will say yesterday was epic. I mean, to have that many tornadoes in the Omaha metro area and that lasted for so long and traveled so long. I don't think Omaha has seen anything like that in modern history that I'm aware of.
It was really surprising because when we hear about tornado watches or tornado warnings, we're like, yeah, where's it going to go? And this is something that just was progressive and just reappeared, it seemed like. And to have it so close to home, and I'm sure we will know a lot of people that lost either their entire house or a good portion of it or their buildings, and
or at least roof damage.
The good news is there's little or no injuries. I think I've heard about a couple just bumps and bruises or something, some medical conditions that may have been spurred by one of the tornadoes or something like that. But I think overall, when it comes to the health and safety of the citizens, I think we got really lucky.
I would agree with that too. In fact, KETV did a real outstanding job with the coverage yesterday of going from these monitoring cameras they have all over the metropolitan area. And I was watching that and just amazing shots. And in fact, while I was watching, they caught the destruction of some of the general aviation buildings at Epley live right there as it was happening. But when it was going over western, basically that stretch from 240th and Center diagonally up towards Bennington, where a lot of that damage was going, and you could just see from the distance from their camera angles how much debris was in the air. I said to myself, it will be a miracle if we don't have several people die in this thing. And apparently, fingers crossed, the miracle happened.
Well, and it was also interesting to see our friend Brian Mastery on WWT Channel 6. He was out there with his rain jacket on and was in the thick of things. And one of their cameras, the news stations have these cameras planted everywhere. One of them, you could see the tornado coming and destroy the camera. And then the camera just went out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. But yeah, again, for any of you who had buildings damaged or destroyed, please know you are in our thoughts and prayers. And now is the time for Omahans to be Omahans and Nebraskans and Iowans to be Nebraskans and Iowans and come together and help and volunteer and clean this thing up, which we definitely will do.
And a lot of you have probably heard this, but the Salvation Army is already in high gear, and starting at 9 o'clock today, just a little bit ago, at the Bright Ideas at 156th and Blondo, you can drop off bottled water, cleaning supplies, and Gatorade. Because it sounds like if you want to help with your time, which is very impressive if you want to do that, it sounds like you need to find an organized group that has permission to go into these areas. They don't want a bunch of rubberneckers and looky-loos, and they won't let you in the neighborhoods anyway. So, just be mindful of people's strategies.
Well, looking at this occurrence from a Grow Omaha perspective, as we just mentioned, and as you've probably heard, some of the damage was to the general aviation part of Epley where the private planes are held. And we have an important weekend coming a week from today. That's Berkshire Hathaway weekend. The actual meeting will be coming up, and one hopes that the general aviation infrastructure will be able to accommodate the influx of planes, given that we did lose some buildings over there. I do know quite a few people who work in general aviation on the east side of Epley, and they're outstanding people and outstanding operations. So if anyone could make that happen, it'll be them and those companies.
And when it comes to damaged homes or totally destroyed homes, we've talked for a long time on this show the last couple of years about the shortage of housing stock. And this is going to do nothing to help the growth of Omaha when these new homes are getting built. Some people, one guy you said lived in his house for a month, his dream home, and it's gone. And contractors are busy right now. So I also, we're going to have a lot of people, tornado chasers, basically. Some of them are good, some of them aren't, but there's a lot of people that are going to come into town the next couple of weeks and be contractors. You just got to check them out and get serious references and make sure that they're licensed in Nebraska and they know what they're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that need help by quality contractors.
Yeah, I don't want to say never hire an out-of-town contractor or roofer, but I know if my house had been damaged, there's pretty much no way on earth I would hire a roofing company that is not based in Nebraska or Iowa.
Yeah, and out, Eric Obrempt, you know him from our show and from using them, D&M Roofing, D&Mroofing.com, right?
Yeah.
And great people, and Jeff and I have had great luck with D&M Roofing, and a shout out to their team. I'm sure they're incredibly busy, but if you have a house to put a roof back on, and some people need a house in order to get that roof back on, unfortunately, you could do yourself a great service by giving them a shout.
A couple things, last couple things before we move on. Yesterday was the largest tornado warnings, or largest number of tornado warnings issued by the Omaha National Weather Service office, which is in Valley, in history in one single day. It was about 47 or something like that, tornado warnings issued. Previous high was 33 last May. There are about 6 or 7 tornadoes, specifically different ones that hit the Omaha metropolitan area. And all indications are, as far as tornado damage is concerned in the metro area, this would be the worst since the epic tornado of May 6th, 1975. Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They have known mortgages for north of 30 years. FHA, VA, conventional, some of the specialty loans. They do all of that. And whatever loan you get through Eagle Mortgage, they do a good job. They are a broker, so they can shop the banks and find the best lender for you. We highly recommend them. We personally know the owners and feel very, very comfortable directing all Grow Omaha listeners who are thinking about buying a house to Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. A couple big news items this week, Trenton. The first one, University of Nebraska Board of Regents approved a $72 million contract with McCarthy Building Companies to construct the core building at the Med Center. This is the administrative and research building that will be on the southwest corner of Farnham Street and Saddle Creek Road. Completion is planned for the summer of 2026. They have already, from what I can tell, completed pile drivings, and so now it's just time to start building the building. And then the other thing, the Regents have also approved a new student housing building near 39th and Dewey. And big news, they approved some stuff to pave the way for Project Next, specifically Phase 1.
Nice.
And Phase 1 will be the $2.19 billion, with a B, billion-dollar academic teaching hospital that will go up on the site of the old Monroe Meyer Institute. And part of the things that they approved were an interlocal agreement between Med Center and the city to get this ball rolling. So we should start to see massive hospital construction at the Med Center in the not too distant future.
Does it sound like the government gave the funding, the federal government?
That's would be like that's like phase 2 or later or something like.
Oh, so they can already start building it.
Yeah, this is just going to be the 2.19 billion. Believe it or not, is actually just the Med Center hospital expansion. It does not include all of this stuff that we anticipate will happen with the Department of Defense and maybe other federal government agencies.
When they envisioned this project a few years ago, it was probably like less than $1 billion.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast the costs are going up.
Well, that's really exciting. This is on the east side of Saddle Creek Road.
And then the Omaha City Council approved an amendment Tuesday to increase the amount of tax increment financing for the Crossroads redevelopment project, taking it from $79 million of TIF to nearly $102 million. We had recently a new group out of Salt Lake City called Woodbury Corporation that has joined the ownership and will direct the project. The Crossroads date of construction beginning has been delayed to 2025.
And I think that I know a lot of people are frustrated, but at the same time, it's going to be a quality project, and it is not for the weak when it comes to building, $800 million projects, mixed use on top of each other. So we look forward to that, and we'll keep everybody updated on that.
All right, that's your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we're going to bring on our friend Stacy Winters. He is the head of the Omaha Food Lovers Group on Facebook and resident restaurant expert. We're going to be talking about food. The goal of the next couple of segments will be to make you thoroughly hungry. That's going to happen. And so stay tuned. You're listening to Grow Omaha, Jeff and Trenton on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have a kid or a grandkid who wants to compete and become in great shape and build confidence and leadership skills, we've got the answer for you. It is Cheer Athletics. It is part of All-Star Cheer, which of all of the competitive cheer styles that are out there is generally considered to be about the best. And Cheer Athletics is the Cadillac of All-Star Cheer Gyms. Started in Dallas. They've got about 12 locations or so around the country. Omaha has one of them, the best one, if you ask me. And it is located in Papillion, just southwest of Highways 50 and 370. They offer novice, regional, and national co-ed teams that compete with the best teams in the country. If you want to learn more, go to caomaha.com, CA as in Cheer Athletics, caomaha.com, and you can join the All-Star Cheer revolution. So we are going to talk food and restaurants, and we have our resident expert, Stacy Winters, with us. He is the founder of Omaha Food Lovers Group on Facebook. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, gentlemen. Nice to be here.
Well, it's good to have you back, and we always start with the same question. Where has Stacy been? Where has Stacy eaten and dined since the last time he was on Grow Omaha?
So many places, right? So my favorite that I've been to in this, I think since our last quarter, was Udalale. That place is phenomenal. So if you're familiar with Mark's, the former Mark's location in Dundee, Udalale recently opened up in that location, and they've actually brought some of those menu items from Mark's onto their menu. So they got the recipes for the mac and cheese, the smoked chicken lasagna, the caramel bread pudding. Those are all on the menu. And as soon as I took a bite of that mac and cheese, I was kind of just thrown back into that moment where I used to enjoy the Mark's. The views there, like you're sitting over the top of Dundee looking out. It's a really great restaurant. And I think their mission, if everybody's not familiar with their mission, is they're partnered with Metro on their program to bring formerly incarcerated individuals back into the workforce. And so it's people that necessarily don't have a lot of culinary background, but Doug Case, who's the head chef there, who's renowned in the Omaha community for his cooking prowess, and so he's working with them, and we're gonna end up as a better culinary community because of it.
So Metro with the Culinary Institute is providing a lot of the training, as well as Doug Case?
I honestly don't know how that works. I know that they just they have a program for formerly incarcerated individuals. I'm not sure if it's necessarily directly tied to their culinary program or just I don't think it is actually. I think it's just a general program that they have.
What a great concept, and all the reviews have been great. I tried to get a table there one time. I couldn't. I even thought about just using your name.
That can be good. That can be bad. But
exactly. Well, first I look at the reviews. Yeah.
We also I actually went with my son and I went, and so he got their lobster roll, which is a Connecticut style lobster roll. So Connecticut style lobster roll is fairly simple, where it's just the lobster, the melted butter. It's served warm versus the main style, which is a cold lobster roll. And I think I've listened to some of the interviews with Doug and the crew there, and the lobster roll is becoming kind of one of their signature dishes now, and it's very, very good. So I would highly recommend the mac and cheese, the lobster roll. They have a chocolate creme brulee. So lots of good stuff there.
So what else is on the list?
Good luck getting into that tonight.
Yeah, right. You can sit at the bar. I know they have bar seating too, and they will have their patio, which is phenomenal patio. Mark's used to have that patio, and people would, that was probably one of the top 2 or 3 patios in Omaha. So that's supposed to open in May. I've really enjoyed Moots. So Moots Pizza in Countryside Village. It's the Atkinson family. So there's some serious culinary chops there as well too. They used to have a food truck. Kind of, I think during the pandemic they opened up a food truck, and I enjoyed the pizza. I didn't love the pizza with the food truck. So it is morphed into, they've obviously learned, and they've got a different oven now. And I love the pizza at Moots. It's
a pretty sizable restaurant.
No, it's a smaller, very casual, order at the counter type place. Nothing, not fancy whatsoever. But they're putting out some really, really solid pizza. You can order by the slice, which a lot of people. I like the ability to order by the slice. If I'm wanting to go for lunch and just get a slice or two, I don't have to order a whole pizza, so that's nice.
I think Countryside Village, and I don't know. Is the Saddle Creek Breakfast Club open now?
It is not open yet. Last I heard, that was going to be May. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's been forever, but I think they've done a wonderful job with
phenomenal.
That, and also Countryside Village as a whole. Like Timber's a really fun restaurant to me, very consistent restaurant.
Yeah.
But what they've done with Countryside to re-tenant that thing, especially with Koji and the restaurants that we've talked about.
It's been pretty amazing.
It's neat to see the resurgence.
Like one of my favorite bars in Omaha is Inkwell, and Inkwell is a phenomenal bar. They're doing some great cocktails. Did you see they're opening a location in Chicago?
No.
Yeah, with Bill Barstow and the folks from ACX.
Yeah, because the bar out at the backlot in Elkhorn is actually ran by Inkwell as well. Yeah. So I don't think a lot of people know that bar out at the cinema backlot out in Elkhorn, that serves some great cocktails. So,
I go to Backlot all the time. Where else have you been, Stacy?
Nomadic Jack's is a
that sounds fun.
A burger joint.
If you can find him.
It's a burger joint. It's a burger joint that's out of they operate out of Millwork Commons. So you can order it from Cross Train down there, Cross Train Draftworks. And so they're doing like the smash burger, they're doing a really, really good version of the smash burger. They've also started to do some pop-ups. You have to kind of look for it, but Monday nights periodically out at Jukes in Elkhorn. So you can get it out west or you can get it downtown. But they have some really tasty burgers, some tasty fries. I was eating their fries. I'm like, what is the seasoning? And Jack was very. I love it when people aren't afraid to share their secret. They're just putting celery salt on their fries, and I'm like, oh, that's what it was. That was so good. So it was a good, just a simple tip. Additionally, I did take a little trip up to Hupper.
That would be Hupper, Nebraska.
Hupper.
Yeah.
Our guest last week was from Hupper.
Yeah. So the office up there, that's a really nice little spot up there. They're serving some really good food, very reasonably priced. The service is great. It was funny because when I gone up there, I'd put it in the group like, what's your recommendation for the office? Because everybody's a lot of people have been there. It's fairly well known, and I got all these like recommendations. And as soon as I walked in there, they're like, oh, you're the one who posted that in the group asking where we've been. Like everybody's been. It's been so busy tonight here, and like it was that was pretty cool to see.
Well, when you have 108 something
Yeah.
thousand members on a Facebook page, Omaha Food Lovers, you're going to get a lot of attention when things get mentioned.
Yeah. For a bar that I had not been to. So I enjoyed St. Patrick's Day this year, by the way. And it was
Still remember it?
barely. But yeah, it was a good day. But somehow we ended up totally non-traditional Irish bar. It wasn't even an Irish bar, just totally non-traditional. We went to the Library Pub up on
90th?
Yeah, 90th and Blondo, which I'm not a huge whiskey guy. Not Blondo,
Fort,
between Fort and between Fort and Maple. And I'm not like a huge whiskey guy, but if you're a whiskey guy, I guarantee you there is not a better bar in Omaha. They have over 2,000 varieties of whiskey there that you can, anything you've not heard of, it's there. And they have lots of great local beers on tap. I found I love pickles, so I have found like a pickle lager from some place in Columbus, Nebraska. It was
Pickle lager.
It was good.
I'm an open-minded guy. But
I love pickle beer is all the rage right now.
I'm gonna no thanks you on that one.
Pickle beer is all the rage. It's great as like
some fads don't last.
Like as a michelada, a pickle beer with like a Bloody Mary or michelada.
We were talking last night about a Nebraska brewing company, s'mores beer at Chris's house, and that does not sound appealing for a beer.
Yeah.
We don't need to mix certain things.
I finally made it to the Dundee Dell since they've reopened, with the new ownership and totally revamped the menu. And I know they're going through another kind of menu revamp right now, but I really thought I liked the atmosphere. I know a lot of people miss the old school Dundee Dell.
I like it.
I did like the atmosphere.
Did you
in
have
there.
fish and chips?
You know what? Surprisingly, I didn't. I wanted to.
That's kind of a sin.
I know. I was like, I'd already had I forget what I had that day, but I had some fried food already that day, and I was like, not feeling going that direction. But I really enjoyed that spot. I think the other place that's blown up lately is the Hyde Slides. Out of 100, the second location, like 168th and Q, has opened up out there, and it's gotten hugely popular.
I can walk there from where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you yet?
No.
Yeah, you have to make.
Most people can walk there. Just depends on how long they have to walk.
Okay, I could walk there within.
I take my lunch.
12 minutes. Okay, how's that? You could walk there in about 15 or 20.
Yep.
Well, let's take our middle of the show break for the news, and when we come back, we are going to have more restaurant talk with Stacy Winters. He is the founder and operator of the Omaha Food Lovers Group on Facebook, and much more to come with Stacy. We also have our commercial real estate development spotlight brought to you by Noddle Companies on the docket as well. You're listening to Grow Omaha. Sponsors are Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics, and we'll be back after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center, which has 4 metro area locations, 120th and Maple, right in the heart of Papillion, on Saddle Creek Road in Midtown, and then also 144th and Industrial Road. All do a great job, and doesn't matter whether you want the body work done or paint repairs or anything like that, or even mechanical. They do all of that.
They also do paintless dent repair, and I know people that have gotten hail damage yesterday, and Dingman's, I'm sure, will gear up for that, and we'll talk about it next week as well. But paintless dent repair by Dingman's Collision Center, I've seen them do wonderful work as well as mechanical and body.
Time for our commercial real estate development spotlight of the week, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is changing the built environment in Omaha in a big way, and has been for a very long time. Now, just so you know, Noddle Companies also does projects all over the country, but here in Omaha, they are famous for Exarban Village. They've done a lot of these headquarters buildings, like, for instance, the HDR headquarters building in Exarban, the Valmont Global headquarters building in Hartwood Preserve. Those are Noddle Companies projects. And another one of their projects that they've been involved in for a long time is River's Edge. That's on the Council Bluffs side of the Bob Carey Missouri River pedestrian bridge. And a couple weeks ago, we told you about some construction happening on the east side of River's Edge with some new multifamily buildings. But right now, big progress being made on the future outdoor recreation area. The Council Bluffs City Council approved a contribution of $50,000 to qualify for an Enhance Iowa grant of $1 million to help with some of the projects that are going on the north side of the Bob Carey Missouri River Bridge. In fact, if you have been in that area, you've probably seen some tractors and heavy equipment in there, getting it ready, kind of removing some of the unneeded trees and brush. But this will have an adventure tower, outdoor climbing wall, a roll glide, interior caving space, elevated treetop trail, a pier lookout area. There's also going to be a dog park planned for a green field between Tom Hannafin Park and the I-480 bridge. And then on the south side of the I-480 bridge, there's going to be a playground over there. So lots of things happening in around River's Edge. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight of the week. You can learn more about our sponsor by going to noddlecompanies.com. We have Stacy Winters with us. He is the founder of the Omaha Food Lovers page on Facebook, 108,000 members and counting. And Stacy, we were talking last segment about a couple of restaurants or several restaurants that you've tried. And before we go on any further, are there any others that we missed?
No, I think we're good there.
All right.
I think we're good.
New places in town that you have your eye on.
So number one, I would say the most, I hate the word hype, but the most hyped restaurant right now is Memoir, which is from the flagship restaurant group. So, I mean, and I see, good and bad, and I have not seen anything negative about Memoir at this point. And I think they've done an excellent job of rolling that out. From what I can tell, like the aesthetics of that place look beautiful. So it's definitely high on my list to try.
They say that it's kind of like a big city restaurant.
Yeah, I think then they've kind of taken a bit from all of the flagship restaurants. The menu is very eclectic, so there's a bunch of different things on that menu. So it sounds like something you can find for everyone there. I know Brucey has been in Omaha for years and years and years, but Ginny Coco is now the head chef at Brucey. So
Who had Jay Coco,
and I was a huge Jay Coco fan. So I still need to get to Brucey where Ginny's now the head chef at. So that's on my list. Lazy Buffalo Barbecue. It's in Blackstone where Kathmandu used to be. So one of the owners, Brady's actually from my hometown. Shout out to McCook.
Cook, Nebraska.
So yeah, I have to get down there. Nick's Quorum is the new place that's in Hilton. It's a supper club is how they're calling it, kind of like to the Wisconsin, I guess, supper clubs is what they're trying to mimic. Takeoff Rooftop Bar. So it's a bar, but I'm all about rooftop patios. So this is downtown at, I can't even which hotel that is at, but it's at one of the hotels downtown. So it'll be like the highest rooftop bar you can get. Now they're starting, I think this weekend, to offer brunch at the bar on Sunday. So that's one. The other really popular place, and this is fast food, is Hawaiian Brothers.
Yeah, it's
good. Hawaiian Brothers is like I will say, I can see the statistics on posts in the group, right? There was 2 posts about Hawaiian Bros this year that are probably the number 1 and number 2 posts of all time in the group as far as their post reach. It's the popularity of that place is.
I've been there twice. It's on Highway 370 and Interstate 80. It's Dean Hodges and his sons that own that franchise for Omaha, and it's kind of like Jimmy John's, which they own a lot of those too. The menu's not big. It's easy to order. You can get a half order or a small or a large. They have Dole Whip. I think 2 flavors of Dole Whip, which is really great. You can get fresh pineapple. Yeah. Everything's on kind of a bed of rice, but it's easy to get in and out of there, and they know how to run a restaurant.
They do. They're really, 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 really good. Others that I have on my list are Churco or Circo. I've been told it's pronounced Churco, even though it looks like it's Circo. But I was told from somebody who's been there, Churco's the Italian restaurant. They opened up off like 192nd and
Yeah, it was the short-lived
Julio's. Before that, Tanner's. Tanner's is probably
I went there for dinner. Good place.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I saw some specials this week. I was like, wow, that looks really, really good. So I think they're making homemade pasta. So I kind of like, I'm big on any place that's doing homemade pasta. I'm a fan of. The Table Coffee Company just opened up their new full restaurant in the former Stokes in the Old Market downtown.
It's a big space.
So they were just a coffee shop right next door there. So now they're a full service breakfast, lunch restaurant down there. And I think the last one I had on my list here that I want to try, it's another bar. So Secret Park is down on Leavenworth in the former Bud Olson's bar location.
Wow.
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, Secret Park. They have a little outdoor back patio. I mean, if you look at it, you would never recognize it from Bud Olson's to Secret Park. It's really, really
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to go to our podcast if you want to catch up on all these, or you can go to the videos on our Facebook page, or on our website, growomaha.com, to catch all these restaurants.
Yeah, for a replay. All right, Stacy, stick with us for the lightning round. We might have you jump in on a couple of restaurant things we're going to mention there.
Awesome.
So we got Stacy Winters with us, head of Omaha Food Lovers group on Facebook. You are listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. The lightning round. Big list coming up next on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. It is time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. Perkins Kreitzer Construction is a full-service Class A general contractor based here in Omaha, doing work all over the greater Omaha area. Not just Omaha and its suburbs, but all the way out to Lincoln and North Platte and Sioux City and environs. And Perkins Kreitzer does a great job. In fact, we have a Perkins Kreitzer construction project to tell you about, and it is Thirst Tea. It's a new beverage franchise planning to open this summer at 3838 North 168th Street. This is next to a Little King restaurant in a retail strip right in front of Walmart Supercenter.
That we built.
That is true. And Perkins Kreitzer is building out the space. It's coming soon, like I said. Now, here's the tricky thing. It's spelled THIRSTEA, all one word. Thirst Tea, one word. It is different from the Thirst Tea Cafe restaurants, which also have tea and boba and all that sort of thing. So it's a little bit confusing, but this is Thirst Tea. And thanks to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for sponsoring, and also thanks to PC Construction for building so many damn good restaurants and retailers lately. They've been on a tear just building a lot of these cool restaurant and retail spaces. All right, so guys, we have a few things, and Stacy, you may want to jump in on some of this as a restaurant guy. First of all, Voodoo Taco has opened a second downtown location, former Michael's Cantina space at 1102 Harney Street in the Old Market. Voodoo does plan on keeping their other downtown location open at 25th and Farnham, fairly close to one another.
It'll be interesting to see if they made any improvements to that space, or how much improvements, because it was a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I got to pop in.
It looks very similar from the photos I saw.
Cool building on the outside. Yeah. B5 Brewing Company opened earlier this month, 61st and Maple in downtown Benson, led by master brewer Aaron Bush and his family. A diverse range of craft beers, each one a unique blend of flavors and craftsmanship.
Not a bad name to have in that business.
They took over the former Infusion.
Now, get a load of this, guys. The Jewel is coming back.
Yes.
The Jewel on Capitol. This was the live music venue inside the Capitol District Marriott Hotel. Closed last fall, much to the dismay of many live music aficionados. They are now actively hiring servers and bartenders. Opening is coming soon.
Support them. It's a great place.
They had a soft opening last night.
That's
How was it?
So
I did
cool.
not go. I just saw somebody post about it.
Yeah.
A couple of closings. Paparotti, a Malaysian bakery chain, had been in the Miracle Hills area, 723 North 114th Street. They have closed permanently. And then Zipline Brewing Company plans to permanently close its West Omaha tap room, the one on 204th near F Street. The Zipline downtown tap room will remain open at 721 North 14th Street. And then we have, let's see, Bank of America is going to be replacing a dead KFC at 44th and Dodge.
That's been vacant for a while.
Has been. They're going to tear that down, and then B of A will build a 4,200 square foot branch office there. B of A and Chase, two of the largest banks in the entire country, have been expanding all over the Omaha area like crazy, even in a time when we hear that banks don't want branch offices anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of promising.
So that's all in play there. And then Mega Saver representatives and city officials met with members of the Elmwood Park Neighborhood Association earlier this week to hash out details about a planned gas station and convenience store in the former Fuddruckers building, southeast corner 72nd and Dodge. Mega Saver, in order to alleviate some traffic concerns, will build a third entrance, which will go into the neighboring retail strip, which includes Chipotle and Starbucks. So now the thought is they can proceed forth and turn Fuddruckers into a Mega Saver.
And I still am going to use Anderson Convenient Markets for their Amoco gas.
You and me both, huge fans of Anderson Amoco. And then finally, if you want to check out a place to eat, Sarah Baker Hansen's Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review is on the Grow Omaha website page. Just go to growomaha.com and click on Eats. That's EATS, Eats, on the navigation bar. You can see the most recent one as well as every restaurant review going to the beginning of time. This one is, Stacy, help me out, Phoba? Is that the way you pronounce it?
Phoba, yeah.
Phoba, okay. It's a Vietnamese restaurant with very good banh mi sandwiches. It is at 180th and Q. There's a retail development there anchored by Hy-Vee. It's over in that area. And looks like it's a pretty good place. She basically said there might be a Vietnamese restaurant in town she likes a little better, but she did say it's quite a good place and perhaps worth trying. Have you tried that one?
I have not. I'm a huge fan of banh mi sandwiches, though. If you haven't tried a banh mi sandwich, you have to try one of those.
All right. I've made many restaurant confessions in front of Stacy before, and here comes another one. I'm gonna get a hard time about this one, but I have never had a banh mi sandwich before.
Now you know what you got to try.
But that is also just like Hyde Slides within walking distance of my house. Trenton, have you had a banh mi sandwich before?
I haven't had either one of those.
A banh or a mi?
That or a slide or Hyde Slides.
In fact, you probably couldn't get much different than Hyde Slides and a banh mi sandwich, but we'll give that a try. All right, the music's playing, which means we're done. Stacy Winters, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Stacy Winters, also known as the head and founder of the Omaha Food Lovers Group on Facebook. That's it for this week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.